Hi guys, it's Helga from Helga's Pennsylvania Cooking, and today is another tagging vid, in a way. It's a 13 facts about me tag and VR response to Jen at the Wild Yam. Jen has a really cool channel. This is her sticker right there, and I enjoy her vids quite a bit, and she's doing a giveaway right now. Really nice giveaway. She's coming up on 2,000 subs, and also for extra credit, she tagged us to do a VR response to the 13 Facts About Me challenge. I happen to really like her giveaway, so I'm doing it. Besides, it's always great to learn more about each other to a point on YouTube. So here we go. Number one, one place you hope to visit someday. I've always been drawn to Ireland, the Emerald Isle. There's just so much interesting history and lore, and the landscape has always really fascinated me. I would love to see it in person someday. There's a lot of other places I'd like to see too, but that's always been one I've really been fascinated with. Two, favorite animal. Well, that's hard to pick. And it's hard because I absolutely love my horses, I love my dogs, I love my cats, and I love my goats. And that's why I have each of them. So I wasn't just narrowing it down to one. But yeah, I love all four of them. Probably, I don't know, I don't know. I can't be without a dog. I can't really be without a cat either. I really can't be without a horse. So they're probably the most important of all. Most unusual sport you've taken part in. I don't know. I've played, back when I was in school and younger, I played field hockey and basketball, soccer, softball, baseball. When I was young, real young, track and field. I don't know, field hockey? I don't know how many. I mean, people still play it around here, but it's not nearly as common as it used to be, I think. Do you collect things, and if so, what? Probably the thing I collect most anymore is I still collect cookbooks, especially older cookbooks, and I also collect mythology and children's fairy tale books. I have some going back to the early 1800s. And especially and those of English literature as well I enjoy. So I like collecting the older books of those. Is there a TV show that inspired your channel? I mean, truthfully, I would have to say initially no, because I never imagined having a channel, and the reason I got started in it, having a channel, was really my other half and Steve Robb encouraging me to do it. But I would say if I thought of a show that would inspire me and that I would really enjoyed when I was young to look at doing something like this someday, it was Julia Child's cooking show. I loved watching Julia when I was cooking up, growing up. She just was so funny, and she didn't care what anybody thought. She just did her own thing, and she was just amazing, and I really admired her in a lot of respects. Why did I start my channel? Well, the reason I mainly started it was because to me it was a way of doing a video cookbook, so to speak, for the family, especially the younger generations coming up that would ask me, how do you make this? How do you make that? You know, so-and-so made this. I don't have that recipe. How do you make it? And a lot of them are old church recipes and old family recipes from this region, which are kind of centric to this region and not found just anywhere. So I did it to keep the legacy of the area going on, from the local old church ladies and church suppers and fire hall suppers, and what's unique to this region for the next generations. That's really the reason I did it. Strangest pet. So when Jen did this on her Wild Yam channel, she told a story, and it reminded me of a similar situation I had. It was my pet for a week. We were down in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, supposedly on vacation. My dad was actually recovering from pneumonia. But we were down there, and I had been picking up seashells along the shore and putting them in my collection. And I'm sitting in the back seat as we're driving down the road, and Dad's driving and Mom's in the passenger side, and I'm in the back seat, and I'm holding my shells, all happy. I'm about 7, and all of a sudden these long hairy legs start coming out of the shell that I'm holding, and I mean just all over. And I'll never forget it, because I was like, "Wah!" And I threw the shell, and it landed on Mom's lap in the front seat, and she screamed because she was startled. And Dad's like, what's going on? Stop the car. And then Mom's like, "It's just a hermit crab." It's like, "Well, I didn't know. I never saw one before." So then I realized what it was. This was all cool, and so he stayed by the porch of the place we were at for a week, and went on his merry way when I left. So yeah, hermit crab, I guess, would be the most unusual one I had, since I had all other kinds of farm animals and stuff growing up. What would I do if money was no object? Quit work. If that wasn't tied into the money is no object thing, like I hit the lottery. Probably one of the things I would love to do if money was no object is totally redo the farm off-grid, to totally do solar or wind, or however we could do it. It's kind of tricky where the farm is because of the woods around it and stuff, but I would totally love to make the farm totally green and off-grid if possible. I think that would be really cool. It's not a cheap endeavor, at least initially, but I think it would be really cool. What is something you have way too much of? Yeah, probably shoes, although really, how can you ever have too many shoes? But yeah, probably shoes. And tack. Yeah, I have quite a tack collection too, but once again, I mean, there's different horses and different sizes and different disciplines, and but yeah, probably shoes the most. Maybe a few handbags, shoes. Let's see. Oh, now we get into just random facts. Let's see. So a fact about me, I was homeschooled most of my life. Let's see here. Mom taught me kindergarten. I went to a Christian school, 1st and 2nd grade. 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, I was homeschooled. 7th was another Christian school. 8th, 9th, and 10th, and 11th, I was homeschooled. And 12th grade, I actually went to a public school and actually graduated from a public school my senior year. I actually had 12th grade equivalency. We did all the state testing and everything, the same as everybody else. But I actually had 12th grade equivalency in 10th grade, and I could have graduated early, but it was like, why? I didn't have any money for college. So, and the best I could do was a half scholarship to the school I wanted to go to, and it was really expensive. But they pioneered the field of cognitive science, which is what I was interested in at the time. Have always been somewhat interested in that. But anyway, yeah, so I ended up going to school later, partly on my dime and partly on work's dime. So yeah, I was homeschooled most of my career. Another fact, I have my motorcycle license. I have for probably 20 years. Love to ride with Mike. We don't get a chance to get out much anymore and ride, although we used to do big trips. We've been out to Sturgis and stuff. I actually grew up riding with my grandfather. He had a 43 Indian Chief, and I would about die to have that bike today. But I'm glad I had the opportunity to ride with him when I did, because he ended up passing away when I was pretty young, when I was only 16, and I still really miss him. So I'm sort of glad I'm with a guy that has a bike and we get to ride, because it's something I always loved. And my mom had her license too. Oh, another fact, my hair is naturally curly. Someone asked me if it's permed. No. Nope, naturally curly. My dad's is naturally curly. His mother's was naturally curly, and her father's was naturally curly. So I come by it very honestly. I don't straighten it. The most I do is using a curling iron once in a while, try and tame it into some sort of submission, which makes it more wavy. But other than that, especially when I'm cooking and doing stuff, I just throw it up, and I worry about actually trying to do anything with it, because it has a mind of its own when it really counts. And the last thing, gotta keep this cooking related at least a little bit. So the last fact about me is I baked my first anything when I was 7 years old. And it was chocolate chip cookies. And my mom didn't have a big mixer or anything, so you had to stir it, mix the batter by hand, which when you're 7 and it's a stiff chocolate chip cookie dough is a stiffer dough. My mom had one of these big bowls like this, and I remember sitting on the floor cross-legged with the bowl in my legs, trying to stir it with both hands to get it all mixed in. And the result was, I know that the baking soda didn't get mixed in all the way that it should be, because some of the cookies were fine and some were a little bitey on the baking soda side. But so yeah, I've been baking since I was 7 years old and cooking about as long. So those are 13 facts about me. I'll throw this tag out there for a couple other people, shout out their channels. I think I'll do a few below as one. He has a pretty cool channel, and he's like an MC. He is really cool to listen to. He has some cooking vids, some other kind of vids, but he's really an interesting person to do. Far Side of the Rails, see if he does it. He has a cool channel too. I like his channel. He does some different stuff. I like some of his drone footage. So that's another one. Let's see. Anybody else think of at the moment? That's probably the two I'm thinking of off bat. So if they want to do it, great. If not, doesn't matter. But like I said, this was mostly as a VR response to Jen at the Wild Yam. So that's it. I actually do have one more tag video coming up, believe it or not. But that one I'm cooking in. Yay! So you'll see what that is. And it was a bit of a challenge because it was to cook something that you've preserved yourself from your pantry. And it's almost the end of the season here, so I don't have a whole lot left. So that kind of limited my choices. But I did come up with something. I think you'll like it. So until the next time, bye.